My Country 95.5. Last year, I guess it's this year, last summer, we had an opportunity to have Skip Ewing in the studio. And Skip is back with us today because he's coming to the area to do a Christmas show December 9th and in Douglas. And Skip, thanks for coming back.
Oh man, it's you. I mean,
Yeah.
it's you. What am I going to do? We hang out in the studio. We have a good time. We hang out in Casper. We have a good time. Now we're going to go in Douglas and have a good time. You came out to Riverton for the television show. You rock, man. I love you. You're awesome.
It's always a good time when Skip Ewing is involved. You mentioned in Riverton when we were there for the filming of the PBS show, which focused on your album Wyoming, and how's that coming along?
Oh, well, it takes a while to get those things happening because it was a full, it was a concert special basically, and it's syndicated, so it'll be all over the United States, and I think it's going to be something good I'm praying that's something good for Wyoming and good for Wyoming PBS. They have quite a bit to do. They have to edit the whole thing and put it. They have to, and so it takes a while. But that's going to come out in, I think, the very first time that anyone can run it in the United States is in January. But it came out. It came out well. It was. It's all the music from the Wyoming album, which isn't technically about Wyoming, but it has a lot of Wyoming elements in it.
Yeah.
And so hopefully, maybe it sends a good message for Wyoming tourism. It's, I think it's, it's always one of those things where we get get that much visibility. We want it to reflect well on our state and our situation, and of course on my music. But that was exciting. And I cannot tell you. I mean, it's something about your spirit. I mean, that's kind of what when we first talked, and I came out and hung out with you and Casper on it. And I went, man, there's not very many people that will drive all the way over there just to see that. I mean, I know I invited you to introduce us, but you were already coming before I did that. That was just it's really, you're very gracious, my friend. You're very.
Well, I've been a fan of Skip Ewing for such a long time, with so many songs that have been. You wrote a bunch of hits, and Christmas Carol is one of those Christmas songs that really has been impactful for me since I got into radio, for sure. But with that being said, you have a lot of Christmas tunes that you like to sing, and that's what you're going to do when you're in Douglas on the 9th.
Yeah, and I get to talk about it. I don't know if you know that something that I did. Well, two things. First, I'll speak to what you just said, but remind me I have a special thing to talk about the show in Douglas. But yeah, so Christmas Carol, I moved to Nashville like right out of high school. Just boom, went to Nashville and started writing songs. George Jones cut the first song I ever had recorded, which major excitement, and then it just kind of took off from there. But I wrote a couple of songs. I wrote Christmas Carol with Don Sampson, and I wrote a song called It Wasn't His Child. And so Christmas Carol ended up being on my sort of, right when I was starting out, Christmas record. It wasn't even supposed to be I don't know if MCA planned it to be a single, but it was never sent out as a single to radio. Mm-hmm. I think it was on the backside of a Steve Wariner record or something. And somebody played it and it caught on. And so after that, it's been like, 20 years?
Yeah.
It keeps getting played. And it was just still. I turned on Sirius the other day. It's playing. I'm like, okay, that's awesome.
That is cool.
It wasn't his child. Yeah. And it wasn't his child. Trisha Yearwood recorded that. Sawyer Brown recorded that. Reba did a version. Winona did a version. And then the song Just a Kid, Kenny Chesney put on his Christmas record. Did such a great job. I've had a lot of songs recorded. Kenny and I have written quite a bit together. He didn't write Just a Kid. Kent Blasey and I did. Kent Blasey, he's the guy who wrote Tomorrow Never Comes for
yeah. Oh yeah.
Good friend of mine and just wonderful writer. And anyhow, so that's Christmas music was always a big thing to me. I loved it. I loved all the stuff around Christmas. And I mean, I'm talking like ancient music, all the way to back to madrigals, to right now, and I love the connection that happens around Christmas. I mean, me when I'm playing, it's about that connection with the audience, and it's whether it's kick or whether it's something that's maybe perhaps more meaningful, more of a substance song. It all matters, and Christmas has that. So when we go to the Christmas store, it's not all Christmas though. I'll do some songs from the Wyoming record because I already have people writing me going, I'm driving all the way up from, wherever it is. Yeah. Saying, are you going to play this? Are you going to play that? And I said, okay, I'll list what on Bands in Town, I will list what I think the show list is going to be. But then once people start calling out songs, because there's so many, I can't do all the hits and still play the Christmas songs, So, okay, but here's what I wanted to tell you. And I'm getting all excited talking to you, Drew. I always do. So I'm taking up too much space. Tell me when it's time to tell you about the surprise.
You tell me what's going on, Skip.
All right. So this was fun. So what happens around some of these shows is, I took a big chunk of time off. I wasn't trying to build my socials. I didn't even think about that. I was just going to work with horses. I sold everything in Nashville, went to work with horses. I had been coming to Wyoming for 20 years, wanting to live here, and was living in Nashville. And my daughter still had to go through her school, and I didn't want to be away. And so finally, once she was out of high school, and I had remarried, Linda and I moved here. We just boom, And that's when it started back going, should we record something else? Should we get back into music? Because I was really in a way different space in my life. Like that journey with horsemanship, it was profound for me. It was a spiritual walk. I learned a lot about what I needed to learn. Okay, just to try to be humble about that. There was a lot of stuff I had to learn about me. Still doing that. But so that grew into us playing, me wanting to get back into music. Well, when I did, it was like a growth. We didn't have any socials. I mean, we really didn't. We didn't have any, we had no numbers, nothing, and I said, I don't know, this is crazy. Everybody looks at the optics on that, and I said, okay, we'll try. And so then we put the album out right at COVID, right?
Oh yeah.
But what happened is then people found out about it, and more people found out about it, and more people found out about it. And then all of a sudden they wanted the television special. And then we thought, well, maybe we'll put a Christmas record together. And we did that. And suddenly there's a Christmas tour. And because people are finding out, they're finding out because people like you are being kind to say, hey, check out, I might as well be a new artist. I might as well be a brand new artist. I know I recorded some music. I know I wrote a lot of songs, hit songs for people, but I might as well be a brand new artist. And we're loving it. And as we're doing that, I put a band together called Horsepower 307. Because that way, no matter where I am, Wyoming's part of it. Isn't that, I love that. Learning with horses and 307. And I get asked, well, why do you do it 307? I said, well, because in Wyoming, we're dang proud that our whole state only has one area code. I'll jokingly go, yeah, and we want to keep it that way. So we can't have too many people. So we have to have, only as many as we got. So because we can't outgrow our area code.
Right.
Anyway, so that's fun. But when we book, when we're booking, I mean, just to be straight about it, I want to bring the band, do the whole band. But on some of these tours, playing some of the theaters that we're playing, the theater doesn't have it in their budget to bring the whole band. So I'll get these calls, Skip, can you come and play the song just you? If we can afford just you, can we get you in? And would you do it? So, and I was getting these calls like up in Cody. Same thing with Douglas. And then then all of a sudden they're wanting us to do that in South Dakota and then Wisconsin and then, North Carolina and Texas. And I finally just told my booking agency, I said, okay, and then Grand Junction wants me to do it. They're like, well, could you bring like one or two band members? I'm like, okay, I'll reach out to the few people that can be Horsepower 307 because it's got to be really kick. It's a very select group. It is, and they're immense musicians. That's just what the music just demands, especially at Christmas time, and so and you were at the concert, but two different folks, are coming with me, for instance, to Grand Junction. Seth Taylor, he's just a monster guitar player, acoustic guitar player that I was backstage with at the Opry when I did the Grand Ole Opry, and he was playing with Vincent and Daly. Or Daly and Vincent. And he plays with, everyone from Ricky Skaggs to studio stuff. And so I sort of went, holy smokes, this is wonderful. You need to come and play on the new album that's coming out in the spring. He said, okay. So he came over and played something his style, And so when I got this offer, I said, well, I know, because Josh Matheny, my dobro player, who's so amazing, his wife was having a baby, right? And he's like, Skip, I like really want to come because like I can't get away. He goes, if I leave, I might miss the baby. I said, well, do you know, like you have a due date? Can we do it on 2 weeks either side? He goes, man, it's right in the middle of December. I said, and I was willing to fly him back on the date, but then I said the same thing as him. I'm like, don't leave her. Just stay there, be there when the baby comes, So, but then I found out that Lyle Lovett, who I thought was going to be touring a lot, quite a bit, and I know Lyle pretty well. Went and saw him at a couple of places, and his fiddle player is wonderful. His name is Luke Bulla. And Janae Fleener came with us on the television show because Luke was out with Lyle.
Oh.
So when I found out that Luke was not out with Lyle, I went, man, I know these clubs only wanted me to, they're only paying me to come and do it solo and whatever, but I always want to bring the best show I can, right? So when I found out he wasn't with Lyle, I said, Luke, I called him. I said, Luke, what about it, man? Do you want to come and do these shows with me? I said, it'll be a surprise. I'll have to call and he's like, yeah, because he knows, he knows music and listen to it. So he's coming. It's an unannounced thing, So Luke he's a grand national champion fiddle player. I don't know how many times over. Does a lot of studio work. Played on Lyle's last record. Does his acoustic band and the big band and whatever. So he's going to be with me in Douglas. Douglas does a free show. They do a free show for the community.
Right.
And they had me there last year. I wanted to do something special for them, but then I wanted to do something special for everybody. So he's coming to Texas on one of the Texas dates with me, and Seth's coming to the other one, and then Luke's coming to Douglas, and he's going to Cody with me, and he's going to Du Bois up here with me, and yeah, it's going to be really fun, really fun.
Man, it's going to be awesome. It again is the 9th of December at Douglas High School. It's absolutely free, courtesy of the Douglas Congregational Church. They're putting on this big show, and it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see it. I'm just watching because I like to see. My favorite part of music is the man behind the song, and to know that you have written a lot of songs that have been some of my favorites all the time. To see it on the backside of that is one of my favorite things to do. To see that songwriter in action, and I can't wait to see that on the night.
Well, it's gonna be fun, and believe it or not, when sometimes if you hear that it's a high school, you think it's kind of you don't know what to expect. And that theater where we shot the television show,
yeah,
I think this theater is bigger than that.
Wow.
Theater. It's beautiful. It's like I don't know how they built a theater like that. I think it holds 2,000 people. It's one of those swing chairs, great sound system. I'll bring my sound guy with me, but it was gorgeous. I was so surprised. I went, "Dang, this is beautiful." So I really think that will be a lovely venue again. And people showed up in droves. It was pretty fun. Yeah,
that's great. Yeah. It's gonna be fun. Again, it's free. You can't beat a Skip Ewing show, especially when it's free.
Well, yeah. I guess.
Of course, the easiest way to find out information about the show is to go to skipewing.com, EWING. That's the easiest way, and then you can link on through and find out more about that. And while you're there, and we'll do this once in a while, Skip, is I'll go to your website and I'll just scroll through and listen to some of your Christmas music and some of the songs that you brought to life. And it's really fun. It takes me back a little bit to when I really started loving country music.
Yeah. Well, that's nice. So yeah, we just completely redid the website with a company called Rhythmic Rebellion. This is another one of those things of growth where Rhythmic Rebellion said, dude, we like what you do. We want to put a website together for you. So now it's an interactive website. So you can literally go and you can hear a lot of the music. You can play a bunch of it. You can't like play the full songs. There's a way to do that, but I'm able to like talk in front of them. You can hear a bunch of different stuff, and it's really fun. I'm glad they did what they did, and it gives people a chance to kind of maybe get to know me a little bit who don't. they're familiar with my songs, because I've written stuff all along until I left to study horsemanship, and then since then it's really been these, the Wyoming record and what happened with the Christmas record, and of course now we've got that single called Mr. Snowman that's out, and so now people are playing the either the old version or the new version of Christmas Carol, and starting to play Mr. Snowman. It's fun to talk to radio. I'm talking to radio all over the U.S. Just talking to them when they get the single, and even the guy from up in K-Jax in Jackson, he was so kind. He's like, man, he goes, I didn't know you were going to put a record out like that. I said, what do you mean? He goes, I don't know what I thought. He goes, but this is really good. We're going to play it, and so I don't know, that kind of reaction. It's fulfilling. So yeah, I do hope that you'll come, and it makes a difference if you hop on our socials, Instagram or Facebook. It's Instagram, Facebook, my website, and we do some Twitter, but I think mostly it's Instagram and Facebook. I want to start doing TikTok. I just did this fun little thing for TikTok the other day that people liked. We put up. It was kind of silly. It was fun. But yeah, and it's SKIPEWING. I don't know if you can actually not even be able to, see it if you're watching the video, but
yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be a great night. Don't forget, it's free on December 9th. Go find out all about Skip. If it's been a while since you've heard of Skip, get over there and check it all out and familiarize yourself, and come on out to Douglas on the 9th. Skip, it's always a pleasure, and cannot wait until the 9th.
Well, I can't wait to see you, man. I'll hug your neck. I can't wait to see you. I'm saving seats for you.
Awesome.
I know it's free, but everybody wants to sit, kind of closer. I like that. Oh, and it's not, you can, bring kids if you want. We always make some moments happen. It seems that even when kids come, they're especially in a place like Wyoming, more. I'm not throwing salt in you on a wound anywhere that it's it's a terrible place to have kids, but in Wyoming it's pretty cool. We had some neat moments happen. There's a real exchange with the audience. So there's a whole bunch of music and some Christmas songs done in a way that you might not expect, and I'll play every song from my Christmas record, and we'll play hits to start and stuff from the Wyoming record, and yeah, we'll just let the moment happen like it does, man.
Awesome. Exciting. Can't wait.
Yeah, man. All right. See you there December the 9th.